Good morning. This is Hornby R3833 LNER Thompson Class A2 /3 462. I think it's pronounced Chamossaire. And I've just got this locomotive out of the box. I haven't run it in, and I'm going to see how it runs. Now, being honest, I bought this because as of the 4th of March 2023 I paid £113 for it. I haven't put the brake rods in it, I haven't put a crew in it, I haven't put any coal in it, I haven't put another nameplate on it yet. Quite simply because I want to see how it runs. And I'll be honest, I bought it because of the price. Anyway, let's not listen to me, let's see how it runs, because I believe that's more important than showing you how to take a loco out of a box. Anyway, let's go. Okay, the first thing we'll do is we'll see how it runs through these insel frog points. And as I say, it hasn't been running, so it could be a little bit jerky. And I'm running it slowly. And that was easy, and I thought it would be. Tender came off the track there. Let's just make sure, because it could be that I just didn't put it on right, because it shouldn't do. No, that's absolutely fine. It looks to me like the back-to-backs on the tender are slightly out by the way it went over there. But anyway, let's move on to the next test. Right, this is the worst part of my track. You've seen it before. Radius 2 onto a radius 2 curve point. Absolutely awful. And let's test this. And as I say, with a loco, you test it tender first, and you test it in both directions. And the same as when you're testing track. And you can see that is absolutely fine. Oh, it stopped there. Let's have a look. When this is a really tight bend and it isn't run in yet. No, that's fine. That's fine. Now, what is important you do when you test any locomotive is you turn it round and you run it the other way. And it's the same as when you've laid track. Because I've known of people lay track, they've tested a locomotive in one direction, then done it in the other, and the damn loco won't do it. But it's also important when you buy a new loco, just lost the bogies then, that you test in both directions. So here we go. And this is quite a large long loco, so let's give it a whirl. As I say, this part of my track is awful. It's the worst part of my track, and you can see that that is absolutely fine. I'm not worried about it being a little bit jerky, for want of words, because I haven't run it in. I'm just running it as it came out the box, so that would be unfair, but you can see there's no derailing. One more time. Now I'm going to run it at a sensible speed that you would run it going round. And you can see there's no stuttering, there's no stopping. Real world speeds. This loco is absolutely fine, and we'll move on to the next test. Okay, well, the next test is the radius 2 curve points test, and this part of my track is awful, designed by the computer. It's all radius 2 curve point, radius 2 curve point, set track radius 2, and at the start of radius 2. So let's give it a go. Now, I'm not going to be overly concerned if it stops or derails on this, because this track is awful, I admit it. But it's a large loco, it hasn't derailed, it's a little bit clunky, but that's fine. This track is awful, look. but you can see it's all relenting. Radius 2 curve point, radius 2 curve point, all radius 2, radius 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it round and make it go round in the other direction. But as I've said to you, if a loco fails on this part of my track, don't let it stop you buying it, because the part of the track is rubbish, but it just gives you an idea of what you can do. And bear in mind, this loco is not running. Okay, so as I always say to people, and this is important, when you put track down, run your big locos in both directions, because if this is the main part of your... it's stuck. Let's have a look and see why. Now, either I didn't put it on the track right, or it's too tight. And my merchant navies won't go in here backwards either. So this is what I say. What the computer says a loco will do and what the real world is very, very different. Oh yeah, we'll go through. There we go. Doesn't like it though, but it's just so tight, you can see it is. And SCARM, or whatever it's called, the computer program, it's what will fit into a space and not what's best for a locomotive. But you can see it did this, but look, I'm being honest, this part of my track is rubbish. Absolute rubbish, and we'll go again. Radius 2 curve point, it's come off. Not surprised. It's just far too tight. But you can see, don't let that put you off, because that part of the track is rubbish. And this is what I say to people: check, check, check. And that is why you can see my larger locos are at the back, where they don't have to do that really, really tight, crazy curve. Thank you. I'm just running it around my track, just running it in and checking it's running okay. And you can see it's absolutely fine. And you can probably hear it's not noisy. It's running beautifully, really smooth. Now you run a loco around the track for half an hour each way, just to make sure it's running as it should. Okay, we're going to run it through the points crossover, and you can see that's easy. Okay, well, the next thing we're going to test it on is set track points, and we're going to go over one now in the closed, and we're going to open it. So round here it's going through set track points, so we'll see how it goes that you have on most model railways. And there's one, and there's two. So you can see for yourselves. We'll slow it down a bit on these set track points. I'm happy with it. It's very, very good. Very, very good. As I say, it's not running, so you've got to be a little bit forgiving, and we'll do it backwards as well. Now I'm not going to turn the locomotive round like I did before, because the points are exactly the same each side. But actually I do need to turn it round. I'm lying, because the entrance and exit is exactly the same. And as I say, when you lay track, it's the same test for laying track. Make sure you run a loco in both directions. So let's push it back, because with the tender, and it's also for clearing gaps as well. because the back end can jut out more when it's running in the other way. So we're going to turn this round in real time. It's only going to take me a few seconds, I hope, so you're not going to be bored for long. Glasses do help when you're putting something back on the track. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, that's on the track. Okay, so we'll run it round in the other direction. We'll make sure it runs okay. Now, I haven't checked the back-to-backs on this. What I tend to do with locos, I don't like fiddling with them unless I have to, for obvious reasons. I like to make them run round first of all and see how they are. I don't like pulling them apart for the sake of it. And here we are, over the point. Nice and easy. Over the point again, nice and easy. We go back again. And we'll see it's nice and easy. And what I'll do is I'll move the camera and focus on that point a bit more. And here you go. And this is, I think I've only got, yeah, 2 set track points on the main part of my layout where locos would run. The rest are streamlined. And you can see for yourselves that runs absolutely fine. Now, where you saw it on all those Radius 2s, don't let that stop you buying the loco. That was designed by the computer program, telling me what will fit into a space and not what a loco will run on. And because all my smaller locos will run fine over that horrible curve, I'm not going to rip it up because I've got plenty of space to put my top link locos elsewhere. One more time. Okay, what I'm going to do now is let it run around the track for half hour in either direction. Then I'll put some rolling stock on it and we can have a look at it. The loco comes with a 8-pin decoder socket and space for a 28mm speaker in the tender. As it's running in, it's running faster and faster and faster. It's important to run a loco for half an hour in each direction for everything to bed in. Here's a nice close view for you. Okay, well here we are pulling what I consider to be a realistic load at a realistic speed. Something has just made a noise there. What is it? One of the trucks. It's not the loco, so that's handy. Okay, what we're going to do is run it round the worst part of my track. We're going to do it on a couple of occasions just to make sure this can run okay. Going around what we call the fiddle yard loop. And this is the worst part of my track. Radius 2 curve onto a Radius 2. Absolutely perfect. No complaints. Slow it down a little bit. Remember, you've got the inertia of the trucks going around the bend, and you can see no problem at all. Really, really nice. It's getting better and better as it's running. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it over all on camera so nobody feels there's any, well, you can't really skullduggery, can there, in swapping something over like this, doing it like this. As I say, it's always worth testing these in both directions. probably more important is, but definitely more important, if you've just laid new track, especially from a computer program, and you want to make sure your stock runs on it. This being a large loco, obviously tight bends aren't going to be its forte. So we'll take the guards van off. It would put it round absolutely fine with it attached. Stick it on the back. I know it makes no difference to this test, but it's just how it looks on my eyes. Okay, we'll run it in the opposite direction. See what happens. And we can see the same as before, and that is a set track point at the other side, by the way. The point you can see it going through now was streamlined. So this is a set track. This is a set track radius 2 curve. Absolutely awful. This is a streamlined point it's going through now, and at the other side where you can't see it is a set track point, and you can see this is absolutely superb. At £113 with postage, it's rude not to. It's a fantastic locomotive from Hornby. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this short review of this locomotive. As I say, I'm going to scan the instructions, you'll see them following this. And again, thank you for watching. Once I've put some crew and coal in the locomotive, I'm going to do another video of it, shorts videos, and another video of it running around with some facts like I normally add to my videos. But this video has just been about concentrating on making sure the loco runs okay and testing it on all different parts of my track. Again, thank you.